Well, hello and welcome to Talk Time. This week we're going to be talking about an issue which is becoming controversial. To legalize or not to legalize Okada. What is Okada? That's what we're going to be talking about this week, and we'd like to welcome you very, very much to Talk Time. Welcome to Talk Time. Well, hello and welcome to Talk Time, and as I indicated from the beginning, this week we're going to be talking about Okada. What is Okada? Why is there so much controversy over whether to legalize or not to legalize Okada? In any case, how does Okada operate and all of that? And we are lucky or privileged to be joined in the studio by Mr. Solomon Akpanaba, who is the National Public Relations Officer of the Okada Riders Association. Sir, you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much, sir.
Now, when we talk about Okada, what are we talking about?
Well, thank you once again, and let me say good morning to viewers all over the world. Okada is a means of transport whereby a motorbike rider picks a passenger from one point to another destination for commercial purpose.
That's all?
That's all, sir.
And what made Okada relevant? What led to the introduction of Okada?
Okada started somewhere in Accra here, in a major community that had a bridge, and the bridge got broken down. So similar to what happened to a town around Osino, I think Jaso, yes. So the people were virtually cut off. They could not come to town, and those in town could not go. The people would take car, all right. When they get to the bridge, that was the last stop of the car. So the passengers had to drop and then walk through a narrow road to the town, and as far as they were going to, they will not get a car to wherever they were going. So a few guys decided to get motorbikes so that they pick people across the bridge and to the town again. And it was working. People were patronizing it. It came to the town itself, gradually coming to the whole Accra city, and quickly the law was made against it. The relevance of Okada, the major point is that it is an alternative means of transport other than a car. That is it. It's
an alternative
means of transport.
To a car, yes, or to a bus.
And so on. Sir.
Now, why do you think, apart from the fact that it provides convenience for the public and so on, why would an individual want to operate on Okada? The individual could be driving a taxi, could be driving a bus, could be doing other things. Why is it that people take to this, business?
The motorbike is less expensive to acquire comparing to a car. Secondly, in the cities or in the urban areas, because of traffic, there are people, even public figures, who go to radio stations and they confess that had it not been Okada, I wouldn't have been able to honor this invitation this earlier. So there are a lot of people who have very pertinent reasons why they must get to a particular place at a particular time, and it is only the Okada that can help them in that direction. Even when you go to the villages too, there are places that a taxi wouldn't go. They will pick you and get to the roadside and say, this is my last stop. The person who insists that, where I'm going is far, I say, no, because of the nature of the road, I cannot go. The Okada rider will pick the person right to his doorsteps. In the rural areas, you pick the person to his house, even if the gate is bigger a little bit, he asks him to ride inside, he ride inside. So that assuming the person is disabled in a way, cannot walk conveniently as we do, he can pick the person to the door and then even park, help the person to get down, and then help the person to open his gate and enter. There are a lot of things that Okada rider can do to a passenger, a very good form of service that a taxi or any other commercial vehicle cannot do.
The question is, why are you an Okada rider? Why are you not a taxi driver? Why are you not a teacher? Why are you not an engineer? Why are you an Okada rider?
Well, I was teaching myself before I stopped to do Okada. I wanted to further my education. I realized that if I go into driving a taxi, I can't make the amount I need to take care of my family. But then my mom was staying with me. She just went to North recently. So taking care of my family while still schooling was a bit difficult. Again, the issue of using Okada for livelihood is very important, because even looking at our number as a group of people, if we all choose to drive taxis, the roads will become unbearably congested for the general public. And that is why in some cases you see even the very people who are supposed to enforce the law, ensure that Okada do not work, they also end up joining the Okada. Sometimes they are in uniform and they feel comfortable sitting on Okada. Like I said earlier, the work is more convenient to us than taxi driving. We think that we make more money when we are riding for commercial purpose than driving.
Now you are in this business.
Sure.
It's been declared illegal.
Sure.
Are you not worried?
No, I'm not worried.
That one day the law is going to catch up with you?
If I am worried because the law something must be done with the law or about the law. I have a document here. The name or what is written on it, the title is "The Principles on the Decriminalization of Petty Offenses in Africa," adopted by the African Commission on Human and People's Rights at its 61st ordinary session held from 1st to 15th November 2017 in Banjul, Gambia. All what the international community of human rights lawyers are seeking to say is that Okada, where it is illegal, should be considered a petty offense. We think that our activities in the eye of the law is not far from what the GPRTU, which is a recognized or legal union, are doing. For instance, they pack and load and offload at unapproved places. So even they that are a legalized union doing this, what do you expect the motor riders to do? We are saying that the law is not, it wasn't enacted properly, such that if I have a license, insurance, roadworthy, I have 2 crash helmets, I'm riding, I give one to my passenger, I have documents of the motorbike ownership, it will be very difficult for a police officer to prosecute me. Because prosecute me on what basis? That I'm doing Okada. What is your evidence? Even if you see me taking money from the passenger, it's not enough an evidence that I was into commercial business. He may be a friend who choose to give me money. He might have been owing me, and I drop him and ask, oh, the money that you are owing me, you can't. So we think that the law must be regulated to allow us to work. We will assist the relevant authorities to put proper structures in place so that it will be easier for one to identify who an Okada is, and so on and so forth.
They say that the law banning Okada came into force because you're having too many accidents.
it is not true. Even if it is true, if there are too many accidents, the accidents are as a result of the unregularized system that we find ourselves. Such that if the person is a motorbike rider, but not necessarily a commercial, the person is not necessarily using it for commercial purpose. If he gets accident or misbehave on the road, he is considered an Okada rider. For instance, I don't think as I'm sitting here, viewers, if they see me on the road, they will know that I am an Okada man. But I dress sometimes more decent than this, and I'm doing Okada. So it is because the law is not regulated. Let me make this analogy. Assuming that senior high school boardinized system is declared illegal, and parents, a group of parents decide to come together and rent an apartment for their children to stay as hostel while attending the school that is closer to the hostel. And there are some acts of deviant behaviors or indisciplined attitudes, and people are arguing that they are not supposed to be allowed to house or to stay in that house and attend school because the law is against boardinization. Others are arguing that, look, we should rather legalize the boardinized system so that there will be structures in place to check the students so that they are staying in the school. There will be the house master, the senior house master, the school authorities, other school authorities will be there to check the indisciplined attitude of the students or aspect of the students. People are saying that no, we are already seeing a few of them, especially the female girls, getting pregnant. Some of the young guys are into drug issues or behaviors, and for that matter, if we boardinized or we legalize the boardinized system, it will be worse. You realize that the argument is a facade, because where the Okada riders, their practice is legalized. For instance, they will form unions. The union leaders will check them. Elsewhere, even the riders work as assistant police against their fellow riders who don't want to behave well. So it is very easy under such a system to arrest a miscreant on a motorbike and dealt with than this kind of system we find ourselves. For instance, under the regularized system of Okada operation, the riders will be paying tax. They can even go the extra mile to pay an amount of money per rider that will help government or stakeholders to provide CCTV cameras on our roads. So when there are CCTV cameras on our roads and a rider hits somebody's driving mirror and is running, the police officer don't need to chase the rider in a Rambo style, arrest him. No, you have a way of getting the culprit and dealing with him as an individual. The union leaders will be made to understand that if they allow their members to misbehave on the road, their license could be taken from them. Their members could be made to stop riding for some time or even permanently. So other road users will respect the riders, that we have now find ourselves in a situation whereby equal rights is given to the riders as other road users. We will even go the extra mile to ensure that musicians, journalists will bring out messages that will check road accidents. It's not about we working and taking money. Sometimes my mother was hit by a motorbike in Accra. So, and we are 9 children. I realized I was afraid that if this lady died in my hands, my other siblings will come after me. They will deal with me, even though it wasn't my fault. Under the regularized system, there are a lot of structures put in place to check the indiscipline aspect. This is what GMA don't know, and sometimes they come to say they are speaking against Okada regularization. I've never heard one of them saying that he understands Okada regularization policy better than we those that are advocating for it.
We're going to take a short break. We are talking to the national PRO of the Okada Riders Association. He's Mr. Solomon Akpanaba. And we're going to take a short break. When we come back, I'd like to hear from him a response to the allegation that they're exceedingly reckless on the road. Short break. Well, hello and welcome back to Talk Time, and we are talking to Mr. Solomon Akpanaba, who is the National Public Relations Officer of the Okada Riders Association. Now, sir, those who say that Okada should be banned, they speak about extreme recklessness. How true is that?
It is an allegation, and it will remember so until those who are alleging are able to prove. We
talk about you crossing traffic light, red lights. They talk about overloading, one bike taking 3 people, and so on.
There are situations where those people are arrested, and during investigation or by the end of investigation, it came out that they were not Okada riders. For instance, a man can pick his wife and a son or 2 children from one place to the other. Maybe they are from a rented apartment going to their new house that they are putting up. They feel that why should I have a motorbike? Leave it and go and pick a taxi and pay so much. It's better I buy fuel 10 cedis and pick my wife and my son to our site.
Mm-hmm.
Any police officer who will see them, or any other road user who will see them, may just conclude that the rider is an Okada man. It is when he is arrested and then investigation taking place that we get to know that he's an Okada man or not. That is why we are advocating once again that Okada should be regularized, so that the number plate of an Okada rider will make it easier for all of us to know that or identify the person as an Okada man, so that if it is regularized, or even if their number plates are given as cars, we have it in the car industry, whereby taxi or commercial drivers industry, where their number plate, commercial number plates are given, and we all know that these are commercial number plates. It will be easier for us to identify those that are Okada riders, and then we differentiate them from those that are not Okada riders. Secondly, sometimes the Okada rider is misbehaving because there are no proper systems to check him. Under the regularized system, he will be psyched in such that he will respect himself as a commercial road user, so that others will also respect him. Even again, as it is not regularized right now, sometimes the person is misbehaving because he fears that he can be arrested. He's afraid that he can be arrested by a police officer, or today there are no police, so let me misbehave. Today is Sunday, let me misbehave. There are so many factors which we think under the regularized system, it will not happen.
What kind of training does an Okada rider have before he starts the business? Is there any form of formal training?
Let me say this. When I went for my license, I wasn't given any training. They asked me that they have premium and another, so which one do I want? I asked them to explain what is the meaning of premium license. They said that one I can get it instantly. So I paid the money on that day, and they gave me the license that day. Assuming I don't know riding, you can imagine what will happen. Somebody will just tell me that if you press here, this is first gear, second gear, and you are going. So I can, the danger here is higher because there are no proper structures to train us.
They didn't test you before they gave you the license?
No
test at all?
Nobody tested me. Nobody tested me. It is not me alone. Anybody that is going in Ghana here, in DVLA, if you are going for premium license, you are given a license that day. So nobody will test you. I learned that there are days they test. So if it is the testing day, think it's Thursday. If it is Thursday, maybe they will test you. But if it is any other ordinary day, you pay, you get your license. So that is how the system is. Under the regularized system, you have to go through a training. We are even advocating that they shouldn't give only license. They should add certificates and testimonials, so that if the person is going for a job in a company, the testimonial will show his level of discipline. It will help him to get the job or not to get the job on merit, not about I know somebody or they said they are looking for riders. I'm a rider, I have license.
Okay. Now, apart from training, and then giving you commercial licensing plates and so on, what kind of regulation would you like to see?
We will want to have strong unions in the country. We want to have good motor riders training schools in the country. Most of the riders are graduates. So once they have the riding experience, they can do better in the classroom if they are teaching motor riders, so that there will be a lot of videos and pictures of accidents, even accident victims narrating their stories, how they were motor riders, how they got the accident and all that. It will help in the classroom for the students or those who are coming to ride motorbike for commercial purpose. Appreciate reasons why they must be disciplined, they must ride in a better way. There will be other stakeholders that will be meeting the motor riders. For instance, National Road Safety. Right now, we don't have official mandate to meet them for any workshop or whatever. The GPRTU and other legalized union, they have, and yet they get accidents. So we realize that we are doing better than those who are using cars. If we are operating under the regularized system, we will have access to workshops, other trainings from DVLA, from Road Safety, from Bureau of Public Safety, and other relevant authorities. We ourselves will be a check on our fellow riders that this is our livelihood. We want a good name for ourselves, even though we are making money. So if you are not doing the right thing, we will report you to the police. Under that system, we will encourage the media to make a lot of advert on public road safety. We believe that the media can do better than any other organization when it comes to doing things that will improve road safety systems in our country. For instance, if you are listening to radio, you are watching TV, you are reading newspapers, and a lot of the stuffs are about road safety. Don't cross road while making phone call. Don't do this, don't do that. It will make the public, it will create awareness, and it will reduce road accidents. When was the last time you heard a musician playing a song against reckless road usage? They don't do. If you ask, they will say they are not getting the relevant or the requisite resources to do that. We would have provided them or helped them to get funds to come out with songs that will fight against recklessness on our roads. In the 90s, I remember there was a song entitled Driver Banza. Then if you watch the video, the driver nearly crashed a police officer in the middle of the street. The police officer was there doing his lawful duty. He stopped the driver, he failed to stop and was about to knock him. Since that time up to now, I've never heard somebody playing a song against reckless road usage. Under the regularized system, we will contribute money to help them come out with songs and other stuffs that will help. We can even put a lot of signs on our roads that this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong. So as soon as you want to do the wrong thing as a rider or any other road user, a child, a 10-year-old child can tell you, Daddy, uncle, this thing is not right. Today, you won't get it. The children are behaving like the adults are behaving like children. Total recklessness. It is not only riders, even pedestrians sometimes don't cross the road the way they are supposed to. They are either looking straight or they are looking to only the left or only to the right while crossing. We don't blame the pedestrian, we blame road safety. They are the relevant or the right authority who is supposed to come out with a lot of training to sanitize the public that this is wrong, you can't do it, this is unacceptable, this can take off your life, this can kill somebody, this can do that. Then we will have a fair way of using the road. So if we find ourselves in a regularized Okada system, we will not just sit down and say road safety can do their work if they will not do it. No. We will make sure that we do a lot of things to bring discipline in the system so that we also have our good name to do our work.
You mentioned that some of the Okada riders are actually graduates.
Yes, sir.
Of the universities.
Yes, sir.
So who are Okada riders?
So most of them are students in the tertiary institutions. Some have completed, some are SS graduates, some are JSS, some haven't been to school at all. Their ages are between 17 and 70.
70?
Sure.
It means that we have Okada riders who are about 50 years.
Yes, sir. There are many.
How come?
There are a lot of reasons. Sometimes it varies, but sometimes maybe the person know how to ride elsewhere. Now he doesn't have anybody to take care of him. Maybe he's a farmer or a pensioner. He can get 5,000 or 6,000 Ghana cedis, which could be used to buy a new motorbike. If he failed to buy the bike, what can 5,000 or 6,000 Ghana cedis, what kind of business will that poor old man do with that money? And the business will not collapse. He will get money to pay utility bills, buy medicine, take care of himself. What type of business is it? But if you use that same money to get a motorbike, the least you get a day is 100 or 80 Ghana cedis. So you can imagine, he would prefer buying the motorbike and then small. He wouldn't, the pressure on him is lesser than that of the youth. So he takes his time, the little he gets is okay for him. And they are there, there are many. If you ask for the data, it will shock you. There are many.
So then there must be a link between unemployment and the Okada business, the level of unemployment in the Okada business.
Sure. It is basically due to unemployment in the country. And when we say unemployment, we don't mean any kind of employment that the person will be paid less than 2,000 Ghana cedis. That is why we feel that no government can absorb Okada riders and provide jobs for them. But they will not like to do any work that at the end of the month they can't get anything less than 2,000 Ghana cedis, because the average Okada rider makes up to 3,000 Ghana cedis a month.
Every month?
Every month.
You said that you did Okada in order to be able to look after yourself and also to pay for your school fees.
Yes.
Have you completed the education?
I've completed, sir.
What did you study?
I want to keep that one aside.
No, it will be interesting. What did you study?
I was in the training college second year when I left for Libya some time ago. So when I came back, things were not good, and I had to go into people teaching. I was teaching in a private school, a junior high. The year I left, my students, the JSS 3, the worst performance was 3. So they had 1, 2, 3. Nobody got 4 in Tema, come to 11. So I decided that I had to continue or further my education. So ICT, I did better with NIT, and then there are many.
You studied many things. So in spite of all that you have studied, you are still riding Okada?
Yes, I do.
You don't want to teach again?
The teaching, to some extent, I don't, because I want enough time to do other businesses. And when I was teaching, I devoted almost my whole time. I realized that it is too much time consuming, because from classroom, you have to lesson notes, do research here and there. I don't have time to rest or do any other thing. The Okada, 4 hours, I'm done. I have enough money. I can abandon and do a different thing. I love studying, so.
So you study for study's sake?
It make life convenient for me. I think that is why I've been asking for Ghana Medical Association to come out for a debate, and they don't do. They would have been marveled if they try.
A debate about whether to legalize
Sure.
Okada.
That Okada is risky. I don't want to hear it. We think that medical profession is riskier than being an Okada rider, or being a medical doctor is riskier than being an Okada rider.
Why do you say so?
Oh, within this short time, under this corona pandemic, we saw what happened to them. They were helpless. They have everything that they need to get, and they were still dying. The Okada rider, if he get all what he need to, he wouldn't die. I've been riding for 8 years. I've never had an accident that I had to be hospitalized. It is not magic. It is not magic. If all riders go through what I went through, Ghanaians will miss Okada accidents on our roads.
Well, we're going to take another short break, and we have been talking to Mr. Solomon Akpanaba, who is the National Public Relations Officer of the Okada Riders Association. When we come back, I'd like to find out from him. The political parties are making manifestos. They are making promises and so on. And they are all speaking about Okada now. Now, you cannot be a political party in Ghana if you are not speaking about Okada. 2 million votes to get. You know, Okada can deliver 2 million. Well, hello and welcome back to Talk Time. We are talking to Mr. Solomon Akpanaba, who is the National Public Relations Officer of the Okada Riders Association. Okada Riders Association. Now, sir, you've heard the political parties. What have you heard?
We heard that the NDC have made a campaign promise that when they are voted into power December 7, 2020, when they come to power, they will legalize and regularize Okada. We also heard that the MPP said they will provide a better alternative, which is to provide us with cars instead of motorbikes, or allow us to use motorbike for commercial purpose. I think basically that is what we heard.
The two.
Sure.
Now, of the two, which one would you prefer?
I think, before I answer the question, we were told by National Road Safety that they were doing stakeholder consultation with regards to Okada legalized or not legalized. Then we were monitoring the consultation, and we got information that Ghanaians were in favor of Okada regularization. Let me give you an example. I will keep other details to myself. The road safety boss was on air saying that they have done consultation with the 10 main regions, or former 10 regions, and those in the urban area or those from urban areas, whether Okada should be regularized or not, the votes were 50-50. And in the rural areas, it was 100% for Okada regularization. And he further said that they were left with 6 regions, which are the newly created regions. So when they are done with those regions, Ghanaians will get to know whether Okada to be regularized or not to be regularized, the position of the general public of Ghana. Then within a short time, we also know that these new 6 regions, we call them Okada regions because they are Okada friendly. If you go there, majority of them are into Okada. They are either riding Okada or they sit as pillion riders. Only for the vice president to come out and say they will provide a better alternative. And up to now, road safety is keeping quiet. We got the information that over 80% of Ghanaians are calling for Okada regularization. So if you ask me, if you give me a car, yes, a car, I mean, it's more expensive than a motorbike, but I'll sell it because the kind of lifestyle I have, I don't have the patience to stay behind a trotro driver to stop unapproved place, pick a passenger, then I'll be waiting behind him, he'll pick and move before I move. No, I want to be on my motorbike so that I can beat time wherever I'm going.
In other words, you prefer the NDC alternative? Sure.
I think it is not me alone. What the NPP did, I think 3 days ago, they met some of our members in Accra Circle, and it was clear that all the riders are for Okada regularization.
Wow. So now you're making about 3,000 cedis a day.
Sure.
That's in the urban areas.
In the urban, even in the rural areas, they also make more because there most of them pick 2 passengers at a time. Most of them, you hardly see an Okada rider picking one. In the cities, they don't do.
Yeah, but that is against the law.
Sometimes it is the passengers who insist that they want to sit on the motorbike. That is why we are saying that under the regularized system, you the passenger, there will be a lot of structures that will change your concept, your mindset that this thing is unacceptable. Just don't do it. But now 2 passengers come to a young guy who is 22 years. I mean, they are daring. And he say, oh, can you take the 2 of us? He said, yes. They will sit down and go. He gains more money when he pick 2 passengers than when he pick 1. Now the 2 passengers are saying, even officers in uniform sit in 2 in the rural areas. You can find out. If somebody dare me, I will release pictures and it will shock Ghanaians. Senior uniformed officers in 2 sitting behind Okada free. Because it is either the Okada man should go and come back and pick him and he will charge more. But if he's taking the 2 of them at a time, he will charge less. Under the regularized system, a lot of them will even be doing the Okada. We will make sure that there are a lot of motorbikes for people who want to do it to do it. The more you do the Okada, the more you go for the training, government benefits, everybody benefits. When it is regularized, everybody benefits.
What about the state of our roads? Are you not worried about the state of our roads, the state of national infrastructure?
It is because of the bad roads we have that Okada is even working the more. If we're having good roads, there will be no traffic. I mean, Okada would have died a natural death. If there are good roads everywhere, there are cars everywhere, Okada would die a natural death. But when are we going to get those roads? From Tema to Accra, anytime a tanker or a long vehicle collide on the road, cross the road, the traffic is always unbearable. And it is only Okada. Okada becomes the only alternative. If there are other 3, 4 alternative means of coming to Accra from Tema, Okada cannot work. If this road is blocked, this road is there. But right now, it is only the beach road and the motorway that you can go to Tema or from Tema to Accra. And beach road, people don't like using it because of how it has always been jammed with traffic. Then the motorway to once a while, it also happens. Hardly rain will fall and you will not see a car accident on the motorway. I think it has never happened in my life. Anytime it is raining, there will be at least 1 or 2 vehicles getting accident. So we think currently we can't say no to Okada generally.
You're all for Okada, the legalization.
Legalization of Okada is the surest way to go.
What problems do you encounter now as Okada riders?
The problems are many. One, people who buy motorbikes for riders and charge them to pay twice the cost of the bike. If he buy the bike at 5,000 Ghana cedis, the rider will pay 10,000 Ghana cedis to the owner before the bike becomes his own. And by the grace of God, they sometimes pay within 6 to 8 months. They finish paying.
Twice the price of the bike
Yes.
is paid in 6 months.
Yes. Some of these people, if you get to know the type, some of them are in uniform. Most of them are in uniform. They buy the bike for the rider, 5,000, you make 10,000. Then the bike becomes. So that is one of the problems we face. Secondly, those who insist you must go speed. I'm in a hurry, so please be in a hurry, go fast. We face those challenges. Again, it's about lack of education, and we also have challenges with the way the police deal with us. Sometimes it's just too much, just unbearable. Anytime they say they are going to do a swoop, that's the police generally confiscating every motorbike on the road. It violates our rights, our fundamental human rights, because I have all documents, yet you insist that order from above, let's go to police station. I have to go there, waste time about 4 or 5 hours before I get my bike. Sometimes we don't get the bike freely. Even with all documents available, we don't get the bike freely.
Well, viewers, we're going to take another short break, and when we come back, I'd like to find out from Mr. Solomon Akpanaba about himself. We are going to a top election. Okada has become a major issue and so on. Beyond Okada, in this election, what is he expecting from this election? Short break. Well, hello, welcome back to Talk Time. And we are in a conversation with Mr. Solomon Akpanaba, who is the National Public Relations Officer of the Okada Riders Association. Okada has become a major issue in this election, but we've spoken about that. Beyond Okada, what are some of the other issues you see as important in this election?
Aside Okada issues, I think the issue of our education system, school children are staying in the house longer than they are doing in the school. My friends who are still in the teaching field, they are telling me that, especially the senior high school students, the exams they wrote, the last exams they took before they came home, the final year students, I learned that over 80% of them did not perform well. And the examiners are attributing it to the way they stay in the house longer than in the school. It's only a few privileged parents students who have private tuition while they are staying at home. The rest do menial jobs. The girls that are from senior high school go to chop bars, drinking spots, to sell, do monthly job. They sell pure water. They do a lot of menial jobs instead of studying. So when they go back to school, and the guys too go into construction, they do also a lot of menial jobs. They don't get time to study, and it has affected their performance. I'm talking about the exams they took, the teachers who are marking the papers, what they are telling me. So I think free education by this government is good, but the outcome of it is very, very worrisome. And I'm also worried because the students, some of them are in my house. I'm wondering, when we were having full 3 months to stay in school and study, we didn't get things easily like that. They are staying in the house longer, going to school 5 weeks, 6 weeks. They come back to the house, stay 3 months, 2 months, go to school 6 weeks, 8 weeks, come back. It's very disturbing. It's very disturbing. It doesn't create the picture we wanted to see about free education, because if I get something free and it becomes useless at the end, it's better I bought it at a price and it becomes useful to me. People may think there is politics here, but thank God the children are not only in my house, they are in everybody's house. If you think otherwise, fine, but I think free education is good. But the number of hours the people's or the students stay in the house, it has affected their academic performance. That is my problem.
Mr. Akpanaba, thank you very much for coming to the studio. It's been a pleasure, sharing your views with our viewers. Thank you very much.
I'm also grateful for the privilege to meet you and to have a talk with you. So grateful.
Well, viewers, you heard it all. The debate about the Okada business, expectations for election 2020, and many more. Please don't forget to keep your dial on Pan-African Television forever, because we bring you the best in everything. On behalf of my director, the director of the show, Edem Lumo, on behalf of the producer, George, cameraman, everybody, we'd like to say a big thank you for accepting us in your home. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.